Relocation is a very difficult thing to deal with. Now, relocating with children is double tough. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you things no one ever told you about relocating abroad with children. I experienced it firsthand, and I think you also need to know. So stick with me. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Toyosi Gregory-Jonah. If it's your first time here, hey, welcome. And if you've been here before, hello my village person. How are you? I hope you're subscribed. If you haven't, do so now, and do not forget to hit the notification button so that whenever I drop a new video, you'll be the first to know. Now, honestly, I know that a couple of you know that I've just, relocated back to England, and it's been one hell of a ride. I'm not going to say that there are no good sides, but honestly, the first, impression is that when people see that you're relocating, they expect that everything is rosy and everything is going to, go as planned because you've had a plan, you prepared your mind, everything is just going to happen exactly how you planned it. My darling, they lie. They lie. There are a lot of things that happen when you relocate to a new location, especially when you go abroad, that people never talk about. So in this video, I'm just going to bear it all. Like generally, just gist you the things I've been through in the last 1 year. So this video is going to be coming from the angle of the things that I've experienced, and I'm also going to share how I've dealt with some of them so that you can actually get a lock and key type of thing from this one video. Now, the number one thing that nobody tells you about relocating with children is that it's going to be very hard. Like, see, there is no other word for it. Hard in the sense that, first of all, from traveling with children to, getting to a new location, trying to settle with children, especially for people like me who had help back in Nigeria. While I was in Nigeria, my kids had, their nanny. I also had another domestic help, and things were easy. I was going at my goal. I was going at everything I wanted to do because I had these people as my community, as my support system, helping me to get these things done. Now, I'm in the abroad. There is no help. So, the hard is facing me. But the truth is, like I said I was going to share how I've been dealing with it. It's been really hard being able, to be able to like get the kind of vibe I had in Nigeria in terms of work, in terms of, everyday life. But what have I done? I've sort of like sat down, written out the things that I need to do. So this is where planning comes in. I've literally sat down and told myself, this one is priority. This one is not priority, because a lot of us, we tend to, do things that we can do in 2 years. We try to do it now, such that it starts to put pressure on us. So when that hard hits me and I feel like there's so much, I'm overwhelmed and all of that, I just ask myself, Toyosi, which one will you do now that is important? Anything that is not, if nobody's going to die, if the house is not going to come down, and this thing can wait till tomorrow, wait till next week, wait till another 2 weeks, I'm going to leave it and do the one that needs my attention now. So that's how I've been able to deal with that part of the first hard that faced me in terms of like, being in a new place and having to, get around life and all of that. The second thing no one tells you about relocating abroad with children is that you are likely to draw apart from your children. Honestly, this is somehow, it doesn't sound logical, but then I'm going to explain it. Now, you guys are in a new location. You have the children, they literally feel abducted. It's like you've just grabbed them from where they are, established, where they feel like they've had their friends, school and everything. You've carried them from there, fiam, and then to this new location where they don't know anybody. You yourself, you don't even know anybody. All of you will now be in the house, somebody, they're sulking, the kids are upset, you don't even know how to deal with it, because maybe sometimes you don't even understand that it is that, that loneliness, that not being with people that they know, people that they are familiar with, that is worrying them. Everybody will just be drifting apart bit by bit. I experienced it personally. When we moved back to England, Adam started to, feel a bit removed when we were all together, especially because when we got in, they couldn't go to school immediately. We waited a little while before they got into school. That was because we came in a bit late, just After school had resumed, we had to wait another like a month, like 3 weeks, 1 month, and we're home together. I started feeling like I didn't know my son again, because then he wants to stay by himself. He was getting removed. And then, so I started to ask him, Adam, what's wrong? What's going on? He started saying, Mommy, oh, I feel lonely. I miss my friends. I miss Nigeria. I miss grandma. I miss everybody. I realized that, listen, I had to pay extra attention. So what I was doing was, I was consciously playing with him. I was consciously being in his space. When he's by himself, I would go and meet him, and then I would gist with him just to encourage him, so that he doesn't go into a shell that I'm not going to be struggling to pull him out of when eventually he finds a new school and starts to make new friends. So let me tell you, it is very possible that you and your kids are going to draw apart, even though you are right in the same house. Another thing nobody tells you about relocating abroad is that you're going to feel a range of emotions, from feeling isolated, feeling lonely, feeling displaced, to crying, to crying. When I say crying, no be small cry, as in you will just sit down and just be crying yourself to a pulp. These are things that I personally experienced. Like, I would just go into a corner and I just want to cry. When they ask you what's wrong that you're crying, you cannot even explain. So, the feeling just, everything just, comes at you. At one point you start feeling, I hope I did not make a mistake. Why did I do this to myself? So all those feelings come. Because you see my picture on Instagram and I'm smiling, does not mean that I did not just finish crying 1 hour ago, and I did not just, finish feeling of, I didn't just finish feeling overwhelmed, or just feeling like, oh, did I make the right decision? You're going to feel a range of emotions, especially if you're somebody who used to be really, really active from where you're coming from. For example, I was very active in Nigeria. I had so much going for me. And then I moved to England, and I'm literally at home, the better part of the day. And I started feeling, please, what's happening to me? Am I losing my mind? Why am I sitting down? And the funny part was, I actually even was still getting stuff done. I was getting work done, but because I wasn't leaving my house, I was in the house. That transition from being somebody who was, moving about, up, constantly getting stuff done, moving, to doing this work from home was hard. That transition was very hard. I would cry, I would be upset, I would snap, I would just sometimes just want to just be left alone, just because, these feelings were coming at me and it was totally overwhelming. You would have plenty of those kind of moments. But you see, how do you deal with it? Find things, think about things that make you happy. Ask yourself the things you were doing back in Nigeria that you were excited about, and then start to seek them out in this new location. So this is your new home. This is where you're going to be for a very long time. The earlier you start to adjust and accept the things, that you're going to be dealing with, the better for you. So definitely, with these feelings, you're definitely going to have these feelings, but it's important to actually, pay attention to them. If it's talking with your friend back in Nigeria that is going to help you to feel better, go for it. Whatever you know that would help you feel better, and maybe stop the crying, stop feeling like you're not doing enough, maybe you need to reach out to your mom, you need to reach out to your friends, definitely go for it. But you see, those feelings, this overwhelm, is definitely something people don't talk about, but it does happen. Another thing that no one tells you about relocating abroad with children is that it is very expensive. It is expensive to relocate with children, especially when you're in a place where you don't, you're new, you don't know any shortcuts yet, you don't know how to maneuver, how to get things in bulk and all those kind of things. Is expensive because you're just going to be going through the normal routes. I'm not saying like, fraudulent stuff. I'm just saying, like, for example, now, if you're in a new place, and then there are ways that you can buy stuff in bulk, especially food items, because children eat a lot. If there are places where you can buy bulk items and you don't know it because you're in a new place, you end up going to, like, normal grocery stores where you go and buy them at standard, retail price, and that constitutes some sort of expense. Aside that, you're going to consistently spend money on food and all these things. If it was just you that traveled, if you didn't relocate with children, it's just you. There are days that you'll be like, you know what, I know get back, I know they chop anything elaborate. But with children, are you going to tell them there's no food? I'm sorry for you, especially when you have boys. Oh, welcome to the club. You will provide food. So it gets expensive. If it's only you that traveled, you can also your way out and say, today, no food because I don't get money. But when you have children, you have to make sure that you provide food for them. So it's definitely expensive. Also, another thing that constitutes expense when you relocate with children is the expenses that you incur taking them around, getting to know your environment, getting to know things that happen in your new location will cost you a lot of money. So it's important for you to get your finances together before you leave your current location and then relocate. Another thing no one tells you about relocating abroad with children is that you're going to become a superwoman, and every single one of your hidden strengths will come out. Let me give you an example. There were a lot of things I didn't used to do by myself back in Nigeria. I already mentioned that I had, a support system. People were helping me. It was like a village. It was like a community in my home where they were helping me getting this done, getting that done, so that I can also pursue my own God-given, goals and agenda. But since moving back, it's just me, my husband, and my two children. I've literally had to do every single thing myself. Guys, I had no idea that I had the strength to do all these things. But when you're faced with these things and there's nobody to help you, what do? You have to draw from your inner strength. And honestly, it's a place of endless, bottomless possibilities. Some days I'm so tired and I feel like I can't do anything else. Then I remember, oh my God, I haven't brought out this for this. I haven't done this for my children. I haven't done that for my children. You know the days where you say, oh, go and tell Nanny Rose, go and tell Nanny this, come and help you with that. There's no Nanny Rose anyway. There's no Nanny this to help. There's no my sister, come and help me do this. I have to do it by myself. So you've literally become, it's almost like you're going to have tentacles. As you're getting this one done, you're getting that one done. But how have I been able to do all of this plus my own personal stuff? Because honestly, I am a huge advocate of wholesome womanhood, and I believe that as a woman, you should not give up any part of your life just because you have become a mother. Because the truth is that the kids are not going to be there later, and then you are going to ask yourself, how did I leave myself to become this empty? So what I started doing is that I became more intentional about my time management and about my organization. Every single thing I have to do on Sunday, I will sit down, write out everything that needs to get done, prioritize everything that needs to get done, and I begin to allocate time for each of the tasks that needs to be done. Once I allocate time for it, I build in miscellaneous. If I've realized that this thing that I want to do, maybe I can't finish it in that particular period of time that I allocated, I leave it and move on to the next thing. That way, nothing suffers. At least it has gotten some attention. That really, really helped me. And that's how I've literally become a superwoman to everyone. Everyone says, oh, Toyosi, how are you able to do this? How are you able to do that? And, get results from left, right, center. I'm like, see, it's just about being intentional and understanding that, see, you have no help. Another thing no one told you about moving abroad with children is that you are going to become one teacher. So, while we were back in Nigeria, my children had they had a home tutor. The teacher used to come in to teach them different things, and then we relocate back to England, and I just got faced by the rude awakening of the fact that I have to become the teacher. Whenever the school even does this thing called participative teaching, where the parents have to, we literally sign that part of this job, we have to do it for them. So once the kids come back from school, they come back not just with assignment, you are also almost like creating your own lesson plan for them at home. So we're constantly working, and sometimes I'm like, oh God, but you don't have a choice, because if you don't do it, it tells on your child's academic performance, and the school will invite you to come and say, this is what's happening, because you're not doing the bit that you are supposed to be doing at home. So prepare your mind. If you're planning to relocate, just know that you will become the teacher. So all the things that your lesson teacher used to do, you are going to be faced with it, because if you don't do it, your children are going to perform poorly academically. What have I done? Myself and my husband have decided that, okay, we will split it on days so that nobody gets overwhelmed, because it's a lot of stuff, it's a lot of work. Teachers do an amazing job. If you're a teacher and you're watching this, God bless you for the kind of work that you do. The teachers do an amazing job. Sitting down sometimes with Asha and getting him to even listen, not to talk of even doing the assignment or doing the work, is, hey, he had past jam. So if you don't have a choice and then you have to do it yourself, you better plan it. So I and my husband have planned in such a way that On certain days is the one, working assignment and doing all of that with the kids. On other days, I am doing it so that nobody feels overwhelmed, because it's actually very, very overwhelming. Like I said earlier, teachers, kudos to you guys. So be ready that you're going to take up the responsibility of helping your children, do their assignment properly, get better understanding at home, focus on their work, because that's what the teachers help us to do. Nobody is going to do it for you. I mean, if you can afford it, if you can afford it, great. But at the moment, I can't, so I'm having to do it by myself and my husband in my home. And then, but nobody tells you that that's not going to be the case. You understand? So, hopefully, if you can afford it, go for it. If you can't, like me, you have to plan it out. How am I going to do this? How are we going to do this? Another thing I need to mention about that, you know how in Nigeria, the fathers are not the ones who are responsible for these things. We mothers are the ones who are constantly, have you done your assignment? Because daddy has gone to work, he's going to come back late at night. So you have to start talking to your husband about it so that he starts to prepare his mind. Because that's something that you guys are going to have to do. You, both of you, have to be hands-on with it. If not, it becomes difficult for only you to handle. And nobody tells you about these things. So if you're planning to leave, you're planning to travel, you're planning to relocate with your children, you better start having this little conversations with your husband, so he knows that, oh, we're going to become more teacher. Let me start preparing my mind, my patience, because it takes a lot of patience to actually teach children academic stuff, even normal life stuff. It takes a lot of patience. So definitely, nobody talks about that, but it's very valid. So the last and final thing that nobody ever told you, about relocation is that you are going to miss your mother and people that you can keep your children with. Except if you are, living with your family, where you're going to relocate to, maybe your family, they already live there. There is hardly anybody to leave your children with, especially if, you are new, you can't even afford it, you can't trust people enough to actually, just go and dump your children with them. For quite a while, you will be stuck with your children. So you're going to start to miss your mother. You know the days that you're going out, oh, you have one wedding, you say, okay, nanny this, you carry the kids with the driver, you go and stay in grandma's house. There's no grandma anywhere. So anywhere you're going, you and the children, una go tie una self for clothes. Wherever you're going with your children, except there is somebody at home who is going to be there with them. I had a huge challenge with that. Wanting to go out, wanting to go out with my husband. We could not, no date nights, nothing, because nowhere to, who is going to take the children from you, especially if you want to even go out like late in the night. There's none of that is going to happen. So you're going to miss all of those things. Prepare your mind for it. Nobody ever told you that all of those things would be a problem. Honestly, if you can afford to hire a nanny overnight, yes, definitely you can go for that. But I'm just saying that these are the things that nobody is thinking about, nobody talks about, that eventually poses a problem. For me, it posed a problem, and we had to start to plan and then start saying, okay, so how are we going to do this? Oh, Greg, we need to have like date night, we need to have our own time, we need to have me time. Like when you look at the children, me time is gold. When you have opportunity to sit down with your husband without children, is gold. So we started thinking about it. Okay, it's okay. Is grandma coming over the weekend? Is somebody coming? Now that we now have a community of friends in church and people around us who mind us, we can say, okay, can we keep the kids for this certain number of hours? So we'll go out for this number of hours, and because we can't go out beyond this number of hours, because this person who is looking after the kid also needs to go to our own house. So honestly, nobody tells you about these things, but honestly, if you're traveling with kids, just for a while, date nights, somebody keeping the kids for me, somebody will look after the children, just put it behind yourself and tell yourself that, you know what, until I'm able to, walk around it and I'm able to, get my stuff together, these things that I used to do back in Nigeria, this love that we used to do back in Nigeria may not be the thing that we're going to first of all start doing when we get to our new location, honestly. That's it for this video, guys. I hope, I did not put any, any scare out there. I just wanted to share because I've had a lot of people ask me, oh, Toyosi, so what to expect and all of that, and it will be a huge disservice if I don't, let my people in on some of the things that I have experienced as I moved back here with my children. And then I just wanted to say that if you're new here and you haven't subscribed, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and then turn on the notification button so that whenever I put up a new video, you'll be the first to know. When you like the video, you're telling me, Toyosi, I enjoyed this video, I like content like this, so that you can encourage me to continue to come in front of the camera and just share all of the things that I'm experiencing so that we can all get better day after day. And if you're not following me on social media, I am at Jonah on Instagram and Twitter, and I definitely follow back. Thank you so much, guys, and until next time, bye.